Hi everyone, it's Rick again with Musician's Edition, and today's book page number in the tenor saxophone book is page 16, so we will cover page 16. There's a new idea at the top of the page. I want to go over that first. So there's a flat sign shown at the top of 16, and the definition of a flat is that a flat lowers a note 1/2 step. What is a half step? Well, a half step is the smallest interval between two notes. In other words, between one note and another, a half step is the smallest amount that can occur. And so a flat lowers a note a half step, which means that if you play a B, a regular B, and then you play a B flat, the B flat should sound just a little bit lower. So I want to demonstrate that. I'm going to start with a note that we have not gone over yet. We have gone over a B, but the B that we've learned is lower. I'm going to play a higher one because the B flat shown in the book is a higher one. So anyway, the idea is just to hear the difference between the two. I'm going to start with the note B. And then this is a B flat. So hopefully you can hear the difference. The lower one, the second one, is B flat, just a little bit lower than B. How do you play B flat? B flat, if you look at the fingering chart in your book, is the same as A, first two fingers of the left hand and the thumb, but you are also adding one of the side keys, and so we're going to use one of these side keys on the right for the first time. So the one that you should push down is the bottom one. There are 3 in a row, and we want to press the bottom one down. So you want to use part of the palm of your hand in order to press that key down so that your hand position does not have to change. So you want to keep your fingers right on the keys, and all you do is just lean, hope you can see that, it's really right here. This part of my finger is where it's pressing down on that key. So you just lean down on that key just far enough to make it open, again without changing your hand position or your right hand thumb position. All right, and that is a note B flat. Make sure your octave key is pushed down. It should sound like this. And then the other thing shown in the book at the top of this page is called a key signature, which I think we've talked about before, but this actually is a key signature where there is something shown, and you can see that there is a flat sign on the middle line of the staff. And what that means is play all B's in whatever song or piece of music that you're playing with that key signature. All the B's are going to be played as B flat. Okay? And we know it's B flat because the flat sign is on the middle line of the staff, which is the note B. It does apply to any B's. So if it's a high B, a medium B, a low B, any B is going to be played B flat. That'll make more sense when we learn more notes. All right, number 62 uses the new note B flat. Before we play this one, I'm going to say the counting out loud. I'd like you to do that with me. So there are some eighth notes in this one. You can look it over first. And when you're ready, go ahead and say the counting along with me. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1. And just a reminder, there are different ways to say counting out loud. The way I think is best and makes the most sense is to say the counting where a note begins. But I don't say the counting if a note is held or if there's a rest or something like that. Okay, so it shows where the notes begin. All right, let's play number 62. Starts with F. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the last measure, you do have a half note tied to a quarter note for a total of 3 beats. That should be played as one note held for 3 beats. Taking a look at 63, it's called bingo. You might recognize it. This song has a pickup note. That pickup note is on beat 4. And we know it's beat 4 because there's just one count or one note and then a bar line. So it's always going to be the last beat or the last few beats, but in this case there's only one, so we're going to call it 4. So the counting would start and the notes begin on beat 4. All right? So I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then we will be in on C on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. So a couple of things about that one. In the last measure on the top line, there's a B flat, and the flat sign is indicated on the first note, but not on the second or the third note. A flat is good for one entire measure and is canceled by the next bar line. So all 3 of those B's are going to be B flats, but they don't have to put a flat sign before each note. It's up to you to remember. Also, there are some slurs in this one. Make sure you get those. Remember to use your tongue to say ta at the beginning of each note, or at the beginning, at the beginning of each slur. And in the very last measure, we have 3 beats. Beat 1 is a rest. Beats 2 and 3 are quarter notes. Beat 4 can be found at the beginning of the song. Looking at 64, there's music in the air. Another pickup note on beat 4, and it is a C again. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. You may have noticed that my B flat didn't sound as a B flat right away, and that's something that happens fairly often, especially on this instrument. It may not happen on yours, but what happens is my neck strap connector here gets moved a little bit and it gets in the way of this key opening. So if that ever happens to you, I just mention it because that's something to look out for. So it did move out of the way and my B flat key did open. Took a second for that to happen. All right. Notice in number 65, we have the same song, but instead of the B flat by the B in the second measure, There is a key signature at the beginning of this one. There is a flat sign over the middle line, which means all B's are played as B flats. So there is no flat next to the B in the second measure. And it's still a B flat. So 65 is going to sound exactly like 64 if it's played correctly. So here we go. 65, 1, 2, 3. That brings us to number 66. Notice the key signature at the beginning of 66. There is a B flat in the key signature. So that means all B's are played as B flat. There is no flat next to the B's in the song. And then notice the slurs that are, there's a few different slurs and different measures. So make sure you pay attention to them. And here we go, 66. 1, 2, 3, play. Okay, looking at 67 for tenor saxophones only, there are 4 separate little exercises. The first one and the last one go back and forth between C to D quickly. That's really good practice in getting your fingers moving. Remember, the key to doing that correctly is to try to move all the fingers together, but also try to move the fingers as little as possible. So you do not want to bring your fingers far away from the keys. You want to keep them nice and close and just move them with as little motion as you can. And again, moving them together. If you get squeaks or something or other notes sounding in between the C and the D when you play them, that generally means that the fingers are not moving exactly together and that you're leaving keys closed or opening them at a different rate than some of the others. Each one has a repeat, so we'll play each measure twice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do recommend, if you're having any trouble with letter A or letter D, particularly, practice slowly and practice fingerings only without making any sound, without blowing. Just do your fingerings. Practice going from C to D back and forth as smoothly, easily, and with all fingers moving together. And then add playing. All right, I will see you next time with the next page.